Good day, sir.
Yes.
Please, can you introduce yourself?
Oh, I am Comrade Nature Doctor Charles Edigin. I am a sickle cell warrior. God be the glory. God has been faithful to me. I'm getting old now. Married with children. Today is World Sickle Cell Day. Because of the position God has bestowed on me as a leader, I am the president of Edo Sickle Cell Club. I'm also the president of Eddie Charlson Foundation for Sickle Cell. Likewise, I am the founder too. So today was Sickle Cell Day. We thank God, to God be the glory, because it was not like this last year. Last year we had so many hiccups because of the inappropriate manner the Edo State government wanted to put things. But to God be the glory, through the office of the SSG, His Excellency Godwin Obaseki has tried to put things in order, and things has returned to normalcy. But undermining everything cannot be put up right in a single day. We are still expecting them to do more. So we also use this medium of celebration to appeal to the Edo State government that they should please take our matter into cognizance. Because earlier in time, Godwin Obaseki, our honorable governor of Edo State, make a publication that the sickle cell matters is very, very, very important in his government, and is going to do everything possible to cushion the effect, the suffering, and every other thing into a minimized level. Fine, he tried. He did the ones he can do by giving this building a very massive renovation then. But what goes wrong later, we didn't know. So at this point, I am also appealing to every person that find in their self in authority position, especially in the healthcare sector, regarding sickle cell. They should use their office well, because I get to know that the governor himself was later not even aware of what we were passing through here. We were being subjected to untold hardship by some executive members of the cabinet that said they know more than any other person. To God be the glory, through the office of the SSG, Governor Obaseki has made it right. He has tried to the essence that we can now all smile together. As you can see, the event of today was very fine, unique, favorable to everybody. The sickle cell warriors, the club, the foundation, they are all happy with the sickle cell center authority, with the sickle cell center medical director and all the staffs. They were on grant for us to celebrate today. So it is my joy and a very great pleasure that Edo State government has got it right. But at this point, we also urge them to do more. They should spoil us with facilities that is being needed to boosting our health condition. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for talking to Najawash.
Thank you. Now, our list here, as the program has been officially opened with a prayer, so we have to invite our special guest of honor, our sickle cell warriors, members and staff of the sickle cell center, everybody that are here present for this occasion. The number one person here that will have a very special and eminent personnel, a renowned medical doctor, the MD of Sickle Cell Center, Dr. Mrs. Eneikai. You're welcome. Mojaga Herbal Remedy, Dr. Monday Alonge Ojaga. You're welcome, sir, you and your crew. We also have here a special team of volunteers, medical doctors that has volunteered to work with the Sickle Cell Club and to support our plights. They are also on ground here. I would like their leader to come forth and introduce himself by himself. Thank you. The Chelsea Foundation for Sickle Cell, President and founder, including all members and staffs of the Chelsea Foundation, you're all welcome. The President of Edo Sickle Cell Club, members and staffs of the association, you're all welcome. And again, as we welcome all of you to this occasion, I would like to first of all open this ceremony by a brief talk before I start inviting our guest speakers to come on board. Thank you. I want to quickly start in briefing all of us about the purpose that we are here. Today is World Sickle Cell Day, and it is being marked all over the world as designed by the World Health Organization. Today's event is a huge one, in fact, but because of some circumstances that has always been running beyond our control, we are going to do it very quick and small. There is no major target for today, rather than the continuous awareness for sickle cell. Sickle cell disorder is a genetic problem that affects over 3 to 4 million Nigerians. And the Sickle Cell Center in Edo State is the second in Sub-Saharan Africa and the first in Africa. Time before now, the Sickle Cell Center became a shadow of itself because of the inappropriate input from our government. The Sickle Cell Club has joined hands together with the Chelsea Foundation for Sickle Cell and every other sickle cell association, both in Edo State and outside Edo State. We'll also have partners from all over the states. People like Mojaga Herbal Remedy, they have long been partnering with us. They mean well for us and they have been doing great for us. This very group of doctors that I am talking about now, although they are supposed to be here to introduce himself by himself because he is a special species in the society. I so much regard him to that effect that I want him to speak for himself. So, having said all that, the Sickle Cell Center was built and designed to cater for sickle cell problems. and as well as a research center. But as we speak, reversal is the case. Last year, World Sickle Cell Day, we all know what happened. We were not able to celebrate here. It was by hook, by hanging. We fought our way in before we were able. To God be the glory. The problem we have with the state government, the central hospital, the Ministry of Health has died down a bit, and it is dying down gradually on a daily basis. We pray and we urge them with this opportunity that we have that they should please continue to tow in this direction that they have newly developed with us. This world is not the home of anybody. In whatever position you find yourself today, especially in an executive office, authority office, you are a government worker, you are a social worker, you are the governor of a state, you are the president, you are whatever you are, just have it in mind that you are not God. No man is God. A time will come that we will all answer to the call of God. And everything we've done in this world, we will leave them here. Because it is vanity upon vanity. Nothing is going to follow us to the grave. So if you occupy an executive position, please use it well. Our prime principle in life is to help others. But if you cannot help them, please don't hurt them. That is supposed to be the prime principle in life to everybody. And for us, the members of the Sickle Cell Warriors, that of the Advocacy Foundation for Sickle Cell, Edo State Sickle Cell Club, and every other association that is working positively for the sake of sickle cell disorder, we always have our motto. Our motto is, we can live together. It is just a matter of understanding. If the Ministry of Health and Central Hospital has come straight like we told them in the first place when we were relating on how they want to occupy part of the center building, if they have stood firm on the directive given to them, instructions and the agreement we first reached, we would have not have gotten any problem. To God be the glory, the storm is over now. We should all tow in a very good direction. Now, what we title for today's program is Sickle Cell Anemia. Focus on sickle cell anemia. Ask why and act now campaign. This Ask Why and Act Now campaign has been in existence for a very long time. I have been pondering on it and I continue to ponder on it, and I decided to repeat it again today. Because the direction we are towing in Nigeria, Edo State in particular, regarding sickle cell matters, it is not very, very good at all. It is not called for. It is injustice. It is inhuman. The government are treating us like as if we are not human beings, like as if we are nobody. We are only affected. It is not our fault. It is our parents that brought it upon us. And it is the fault of the government for not carrying out a sufficient awareness on sickle cell disorder. That is the reason why the affected and the affected got married and they have infected us. with a dreaded disorder called sickle cell. We are not happy to be a sickle cell warrior. We are never happy about it in any way at all. So, it is the fault of Nigeria government. It is the fault of Edo government. Because if we have a good government working the system, by now, sickle cell disorder would have been a thing of the past. Sickle cell disorder was first discovered in the year 1910 by Professor B. Herrick through a local immigrant that was traveling from Greenacre to Chicago. He fell sick. They rushed him to the hospital. After all clinical trials was carried in him, they discovered that he has sickle cell. With all evaluations, as far as the hematological aspect of it was conducted, they discovered him to be a sickle cell warrior. And from then, he started making research over it. If you go there now, you will not see any trace of sickle cell. Even if there is any, it is the concern of the government to take care of them. So let our government take care of us. This flyer is titled, Ask Why and Act Now. Why no national alarm and concern over the sickle cell disease problem? Why no government action plan on sickle cell disease control as it is with HIV and AIDS, TB, malaria, cancer, etc. and etc.? Why no grant or support for NGOs with action plan on sickle cell disease control? Why no huge vote or budget to fight sickle cell disease? Why no funded research on sickle cell disease control? Why no free health care and support for sickle cell sufferers or SS affected? Call now and ask why. Call now to ask why. Call the president. Call the senator or legislator. Call the attorney general. Call the media practitioner. Call the governor. Call the minister. Call the local government chairman. Call the commissioner. Call the healthcare policy maker. Call the businessmen, executives. Call the philanthropist or public spirited individual. Appeal for action now. We are appealing for an action now to save 3 to 4 million Nigerians from a life of pain, agony, neglect, stigmatization, and premature death. With action, solution comes. Courtesy, Edo Sickle Cell Club, in conjunction with Eddie Chelsea Foundation for Sickle Cell. Thank you. We have this flyer here. You can call us on the numbers on the flyer as we are going to dispatch it. Thank you very much. Yes, at this juncture, I want to quickly introduce one of our guest speakers to the microphone to make his presentation. I am calling on the pharmacist from Mojega Herbal Remedy Nigeria Limited. You are welcome, sir.
My name is Pharmacist Godfrey Edosawe. It's regarded globally as World Sickle Cell Day. So, our company, Mojega International Ventures Limited, has always collaborated with the sickle cell center here in Benin City and many other sickle cell centers across the country. So days like this, we come to celebrate with them and we make donations. We donate some of our products, to the centers. It's present at position 6, while Berlin is at position 4 in normal individuals. For in sickle cell disease, you see a reversal, valine going to position 6 and glutamine going to position 4. That is just a little aberration that resulted into this, challenge. And with that, in normal individuals, the red blood cells, has a lifespan of 120 days before it gets destroyed. In sickle cell patients, red blood cell has a lifespan of 10 to 20 days maximum. It's degraded. And because the red blood cells in sickle cell patients does not take the normal shape of red blood cell, the shape is either half moon, crescent shape, or banana-like shape. So it does not last, longer compared to red blood cells in normal individuals. And the red blood cell plays a key role in the survival of the individual because it carries oxygen around the body. In sickle cell patients, red blood cells are always being degraded every 10 to 20 days. So you see they suffer anemia. And once there's anemia, there's also, weak immunity and associated crisis. So most of the time, sickle cell patients are always in pains, in crisis, always requiring, blood, because their PCD level is always low. And this kind of condition is noticed around 6 months after birth. You begin to see children 6 months after birth exhibiting signs and symptoms. Normally at birth, you cannot distinguish between a sickle cell child and a normal child because the beta hemoglobins from the mother is still there in the baby. As it begins to wear out, then the baby begins to experience crisis. And when you go for tests, genotype tests, you now see that for sickle cell patients, the genotype is SS. Whereas in normal individuals, you have AA, in carriers, AS. So it's advisable in marriage that AS should not marry AS. It should be AA marrying AA or AA marrying AS. On no account should two people who are ASAS marry each other because of love. Prevention, they say, is better than cure. However, in the past, people have made mistakes, and people are still making mistakes now by not, checking their genotype before going into marriage. So it's advisable that people should always check their genotype before contracting marriage to avoid stories that touch. To avoid giving birth to innocent children who will just come and suffer pains and crises all through their lifetime. However, for people that have been born with sickle cell disease, there is hope for them. It's continuous management. They have to be properly rehydrated. And what are those things that trigger crisis? Malaria and typhoid. So they should be managed properly so that they don't come down with malaria and typhoid. Once there's malaria and typhoid, they break down, resulting into crisis. Their PCD is always low, immunity is always low. There are stories of sickle cell warriors who have fought the conditions and they are doing well, some in their 50s, some in their 60s, and that means there is hope for sufferers. Manage the condition, take care of yourself, build your PCV, and improve your quality of life. So we are here today to celebrate with the sickle cell body here in Benin City, and also to make donations of our products to the body. Thank you very much.
That are humanitarian enough to come on board to partner with the sickle cell warriors. The Edo Sickle Cell Club and Ed Chassis Foundation for Sickle Cell, all sickle cell warriors that are here today, both those at home. We welcome you, sir. Thank you, sir. You're welcome.
The president of Sickle Cell Club Edo State, and every other persons right here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Omolume James Osezele. I am here with my team member. We are from Reach Out and Rescue Foundation, an arm of Bone Marrow and Kidney Transplant Rescue Foundation. Every year, we are always here to felicitate with warriors of sickle cell disease. First of all, let me appreciate God Almighty for the life of those who are warriors, because they are warriors indeed. The advocacy for the prevention and access to adequate healthcare services by this warrior can never be overemphasized. Today, 100 to 150 newborn in Nigeria annually have sickle cell disease. That contributes to over 33% of the global burden of the disease. So, the advocacy for the care and prevention of sickle cell disease shouldn't be trivialized. It is very sacrosanct. It is very important. Today, June 19, 2023, as we mark the World Sickle Cell Day, we solidarize with this warrior. We are here for them, and we want to tell them that they are not alone. In the same line, we call on every individual in the society. We call on the government, we call on every stakeholder to take sickle cell disease as a priority, as a project, because Nigeria cannot be at a strategic level when we talk about the epidemiology of sickle cell disease. Nigeria remains the highest with children with sickle cell disease in sub-Saharan Africa. So, all hands must be on desk in order to prevent the disease. So we join every other person to advocate, because those already having the disease, they are there. What they need is adequate care and cure. As we all know, There is a cure for sickle cell disease, which is bone marrow transplant. There is a cure. So, but after the cure, the prevention must be taken as important as any other thing. Therefore, policies need to be formulated to ensure the prevention of sickle cell disease. Free genotype screening can be advocated for. I call on the government, if we can spend millions of naira to celebrate World Malaria Day, why can't we spend same money to carry out free genotype screening on an important day like this? We must understand the importance of today. Of course, you won't understand until you understand what those warriors, what they passed through, what those children, what they passed through. You will appreciate what today is. So we are standing here today to appreciate those warriors, to appreciate the healthcare workers, to appreciate their parents, and to appreciate every other individual who understands what it has, what it is to be a sickle cell warrior. So we have to reiterate our stand and also reappraise our care for them. We will always stand and remain with you, with everyone that has sickle cell disorder or the disease. It is very preventable. To digress a little, we already know it's a genetic disease, and that makes it a disease that can also be preventable, because it's been inherited from both parents. Like what the last speaker said, if you are excess, because we must keep sending the message across. Ignorance is also part of the cause of the reason why we are here today. A lot of people, they lack information about what sickle cell is. They don't even know what is sickle cell. They only hear sickle cell. They don't know how it come about and how it can be prevented. Remember I said, in the prevention of sickle cell disease, all hands must be on desk. So, as a man, as a woman, you must know your genotype. You must know your genotype. We have AA as genotype. We have AS, and we have SS. So, if you are AA, if you are SS, you can marry AA. If you are SS, you cannot marry SS. You cannot marry AS. You must, it's a principle. You must know it. Don't allow love to overshadow this. Because the warriors we have today, hello, they don't have the power in utero, hello, to determine their genotype. It is will. It is you who is an adult, who is about to marry, that have the ability to prevent it from the onset. So we are sending the message across that the government and every other body should ensure that there is free genotype screening in our various hospitals, in our various clinics. We do that every year. So we call on every other person to also do that That's the only way it can be prevented. And these complications, it can lead to deaths, it can lead to stroke. Sickle cell disease is something that needs to be taken serious in this country. It needs to be taken serious. The parents need to be supported, and the children also need to be supported for those that have the diseases. So we are here today to support the Sickle Cell Center with some drugs and other things. And we promise that we will always remain an advocate for support, for care for those that have sickle cell disease. This is what we represent. Thank you very much. Once again, I appreciate the President for the role he has been playing to ensure that the struggle for sickle cell patients, those that have sickle cell disease, is not in vain. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Foundation, thank you so much. We appreciate you all, from the foundation to the grassroots. Every members that are in that foundation are highly appreciated by members of Edo Sickle Cell Club and Eddie Chelsea Foundation for Sickle Cell. Thank you so much. At this junction, we are about to round up this program, but I will have some little advice to give to my fellow sickle cell warriors. Comrade, Nature Doctor Charles Edigi, I am a sickle cell warrior. By the grace of God, I am counting my 50s, crossing to the side of 60. By the grace of God, I am still alive today. And I will urge every member of this association, from Edo State, Edo Sickle Cell Club, the Chelsea Foundation, and every other NGOs that are here present, that we, the sickle cell warriors, should have in mind that we are not sicklers like they used to label us. Sickler is a tag name to our name. Sickler is a stigmatized name to our name. Even the so-called modest name that they use in referring to us, that in fact, all those names, they are not too good. They say sickle cell disease. Hello? Hello? I say sickle cell disease. Sickle cell is not a disease. Like our doctor said just now, sickle cell is a genetic disorder. It is a disorder from the red blood cell as a result of our parents not knowing that both of them are AS, and they got married. Later, we were infected by the so-called dreaded disorder called sickle cell. Please, as I earlier said, I want to tell all my fellow warriors that they should know and have one thing in mind, that it is you and you alone that is in the position to bring yourself out of this condition. Don't give up to this condition, because this condition is so dreaded to the fact that at a slight of giving up to it, my dear, the person will not remain the same. Because the more you start even making preparation or an arrangement to start giving up on yourself for this disorder, the disorder itself is overtaking you with about 80% to wear you and bring you down. I am still very much strong, but I have told you for my age. I know there are sufferers that are older than me because they took good care of themselves. It is me and me that is taking good care of myself. If you say you have your parents, you have your siblings, you have your family members, please, I want to put it to you today that the only thing they can do for you is to assist you financially, morally, and every other thing you can think of by taking care of you. You have to know and have it in mind, have it inside your head that your parents does not know what the pains look like each and every time you fall sick. Is it that you are done with bone crisis, or you are done with malaria, or not to talk of the dreaded series of complications that can arise as a result of sickle cell disorder? Let me not waste time by mentioning few of them. You have complications like avascular necrosis, acute chest syndrome, priapism, leg ulcer, papillary necrosis, gallbladder, kidney deferment, heart and liver. All of these systems are being infected one way or the other by sickle cell. Even the so-called crisis, the pain crisis, we say that it is minimal. That is the lowest thing that will happen to a sickle cell warrior. It does not kill. It will only give you the pain of your life. We know it doesn't kill, but fine. It is still very, very, very dangerous as the complications that can kill within some seconds. You have something that is called bone marrow crisis. Bone marrow crisis is the highest dreaded crisis as in the pain condition of it. Any part of the body that a warrior had bone marrow crisis, at the end of the day, the bone marrow in that part of the bone will melt away. The bone marrow will totally melt off. And at the time the crisis is gone, you have treated the crisis is gone, that part of the body will remain paralyzed. It will be there forever, except you have the millions of nairas to fly yourself to India for bone marrow transplant. Please, I am urging all of you, and for this struggle, it is not my birthright. I am only the president of the Sickle Cell Club. I have been doing well on it. I was just newly inaugurated into this office. I was not the president before now. I know I have attained so many executive positions in the club. Because of myself and all of you, I went ahead to register an NGO called the Chasing Foundation for Sickle Cell with CAC, Corporate Affairs Commission, so that I will have all the time, even if I'm no longer with the Sickle Cell Club as the president, or maybe I'm not even in the country, from that platform I can advocate for you and I can do things for you people. But I am urging you all at this point that it is this we that are in the forefront. It is not a task that we should be there. I am urging all of you to come on board. Come on board. Hey, come into the struggle with us. Let us all of us struggle it together. Don't say I am sick. You are not sick. You are well because I am well. Don't say you don't want them to see you in the television because my face is well recognized in the television, in the internet, my voice in the radio and everywhere. I am recognized as a sickle cell warrior. Come out. If you have any problems, speak out. There you will get help. Don't lock yourself inside and die in silence. Sickle cell is not a disease. Sickle cell is not a criterion that you cannot do anything good for yourself. You are like every other human being. Come out. Let's join hands together to make sure we tackle our problem. You can see the government operations in the country. Those states and every other state, we cannot rely on them. But the little ones that they have done for us, let us hold it. Let us appreciate them for it. Because you cannot rely on anybody totally. Like I said, you cannot rely on your parents, you cannot rely on your family, so you cannot rely on the government. The little one everybody have to do for us, let us appreciate it with a very great heart and help ourselves. I think that is all I will have to say for now. Thank you.
Not to be among them. It's not because we are too special. We are just fortunate. Can only imagine what we have done. So the role of, I'm not saying because he's standing here, he thinks about the welfare of his colleagues, his friends, who go through the same pains and worries. So we do not really have more this year. So whatever we are giving, whatever we give, is just little. It's not really big compared to what these persons have been going through for years. Present this infusion in the sickle cell club in order to support their treatment.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We are grateful.
Thank you.
Yes.
We always render our support at any time, at any day. So this is what we have for now. We will always be here, as I promise. Thank you so much.
The managing medical director, Sickle Cell Center. I, the president of Edo Sickle Cell Club and the Advocacy Foundation for Sickle Cell. My name is Comrade Lecture Dr. Charles Edigin. Today, World Sickle Cell Day 2023. Dr. James Iworume came from Reach Out and Rescue Foundation, and they have donated these drugs to us. But we cannot use it by ourselves because it is infusion, not tablets. And this one cannot be swallowed. It is the responsibility of our caregivers to dispense it for us. So we are handing them over to you for you to take care of our sickle cell warriors. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome everybody to the Sickle Cell Center, Benin City, Edo State. I'd like to appreciate my brother here, who has brought these infusions for our sickle cell warriors and has promised that he will stand by them never they need him. So I must say, on behalf of the Sickle Cell Center, Hospital Management Agency, Edo State, and the Edo State government, thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Mojaga Herbal Remedy is also here. They also want to present their own to us officially.
To Jagaluge, representing our MD, Mr. Mondo Jagaluge, the CEO of Mojaga International Company Limited, producers of Mojaga Herbal Remedy and the Mojaga Herbal Tea. So we are presenting this thing to the foundation, the Sickle Cell Club, represented by the president here, Mr. Charles Edegi. Our little support for the Sickle Cell Warriors, as we usually do in a little way every year. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. We so much appreciate your kind gesture. Yes, you've been doing this for us for a very long time, and you are still doing it. Thank you so much. We appreciate. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the Sickle Cell Club at the Chelsea Foundation for Sickle Cell, all warriors here present today, Mojaga Herbal Remedy have gifted us with these products, 2 cartons of Mojaga Herbal products, and it is going to be used by us. We are not giving this one to any medical personnel to administer to us because we know how to use it better than them. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Right now, let me call on somebody to.
Good day, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. Your name, please.
I am Dr. Omonuwe James Cesare.
You have come to celebrate World Sickle Cell Day that is set aside by World Health Organization every June 19th. So you made some presentation today. And can you also tell me the reason why you are partner with them today?
Today is World Sickle Cell Day.
Yes.
As marked by WHO, United Nations. Today is a day to reappraise and to have a reflection on sickle cell disease. So, normally, every year, we are always here to felicitate and commemorate the World Sickle Cell Day with other activities like free genotype screening, voluntary blood donation, and other things. Today, again, we are here. The major reason why we are always here is to ensure that we are advocates for those living with this disorder. Because sickle cell disease is not a joke. If you have had someone who has been affected before in the family or as a friend, then you will know how important today is. Yes. So we are also here to celebrate with them because they are warriors. We are in a society whereby, people stigmatize those that have the disorder. Again, we are telling the society that sickle cell should not be, those that have sickle cell should not be stigmatized. Yes, it should be seen as every other disease, as every other sickness. And also, to also advocate for more care for them. Whether you are a healthcare worker, whether you are a parent, whoever you are in society, it's our responsibility to ensure that
we prevent sickle cell disease and to ensure that those that have the disease already to be well cared for.
Okay.
So that is why we are here today. And as I promised, we have been here and will continue to be here to support them in any way we can, to support their treatment, to support them psychologically, to support whatever means they
May require.
may require.
Yes.
And we are also pleading for every other individual out there to please reach out to them. Reach out to them. That's our slogan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good day, sir. Yeah. Your name, sir?
I'm Martin Mujaga, part of the management of Mujaga International Ventures Limited, producers of Mujaga.
What is this day for you?
It's a special day dedicated to the care, awareness, and the activities of sickle cell sufferers, or popularly known as sickle cell warriors.
Yes.
It's a day dedicated by the World Health Organization, June 19, to talk about the challenges they face and the way forward in addressing those challenges, and also preventive measures so that it does not reoccur. Enlightening them, knowing that they will share with them in their pains, their worries, what they go through day in, day out. And to also enlighten others who are not the sufferers, their caregivers, to prevent the mistake that was made by
Our parents.
yes, so that it does not reoccur, by knowing their genotype and avoiding such situations. We also donate our products to help a little support, to support their treatment. For now, we know that the major cure that may have been gotten has to do with the bone marrow transplant, but that's not available for many.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.